hosted by ENVIS Resource Partner on Avian Ecology at Bombay Natural History Society and ENVIS Centre for Environmental Studies at the Forest and Environment Department under Government of Odisha. I, Sushmita Karmakar, working as an information officer at BNHS-ENVIS, will be your humble host for today's event. Dear participants, I would like to add that your active participation is important throughout the session. I would request everyone to be on mute in order to avoid any background noises, and you may enter your questions and comments in the chat box throughout the presentation. Before we go any further, I would like to invite Mr. Viraj Atle, data entry operator at BNHS-ENVIS, to give an introduction regarding the Ek Bharat Shreshtha Bharat Programme. Viraj?
I request Ms. Sushmita, please share the slide. Viraj, I think you are on mute. Please unmute yourself. Viraj, you are not audible. Hello, Sushmita, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
I think there is some issue at Viraj end.
Okay.
So, okay, shall we talk about Ek Bharat Shreshtha Bharat program?
Yeah, I'll tell about that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, the Ek Bharat Shreshtha Bharat program is based on the idea of a sustained and structured cultural connect between people of different regions residing in India. This idea was propounded by Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi during the Rashtriya Ekta Divas held on 31st October 2015. This program considers the pairing of different states and union territories in order to promote mutual understanding between people and establish cultural exchanges to further human bonding for a nation building. As this year, Maharashtra has been paired with Odisha, the ENVIS centers of both these states will be contributing towards the celebration of this event. The Environmental Information System, ENVIS, collects, collates, and disseminates information and various knowledge products on different environment related thematic areas and generate awareness among the stakeholders via the ENVIS hubs and resource partners, which are hosted in the environment or forest departments of state governments or union territory administrations and environment related governmental and non governmental organizations. Thus, the Ek Bharat Shreshtha Bharat program has been included in the ENVIS awareness and outreach programs for a wider circulation to create public awareness and promote cultural integration. So, proceeding further, I now invite Mr. Nandkishore Dude, Program Officer at BNHS-ENVIS, to present a brief introduction regarding the center.
Thank you, Sushmita. I am Nandkishore Dude, Program Officer. ENVIS Resource Partner on Avian Ecology was established in 1996 at Bombay Natural History Society. This program is funded by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Since its inception, the focus of the ENVIS has been on providing the information, avian ecology related information to the decision maker, policy planner, scientist and researcher. The main objective to collect the database of avian ecology. We are regularly publishing bureaus. It is a newsletter, and we will regularly take the articles from the birdwatcher, researcher. Then we are regularly celebrating the events, environment related events, including World Environment Day, and we are regularly conducting the GSDP certificate courses. It's a green skill development program. In 2019-20, we have conducted 4 GSDP courses, including bird migration study, then PPL biodiversity register, then key biodiversity areas. So all these, all the 4 GSDP courses, we have trained around 73 uh, unemployed youth, and after that around more than 10 youth got the job. So this is the achievement of our green skill development program. So these are all about our ENVIS resource partner on avian ecology. Thank you, Sushmita. uh, Hello, Sushmita. You are on mute. Please unmute yourself. Hello, Sushmita. Am I audible? Parvat sir, are you available? Parvat Mohan Das sir, are you available?
Yes,
Okay, okay, sir. So I would like to request you talk about the Center for Environment Studies and also introduce our today's speaker. Uh, Move to you. Thank you, sir.
yes, definitely. On behalf of Center for Environmental Studies, Government of Odisha, under this Ek Bharat Shreshtha Bharat campaign, I welcome all the participants and dignitaries for the 2 days session. We are grateful to Ministry that they have assigned uh, this campaign to be organized jointly with the Bombay Natural History Society. BNHS is also carrying out similar activities such as publications and compilation of topics and sharing of information. The main objective is to create a database for the state related to different subjects of environment and free of cost, and other information which are not available generally. We have to find out are there. Like we are also provide mission and
But sir, I think you are on mute.
hello, audible na? Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. So without wasting time,
Yes, sir, you are.
I will very
Prasad not audible.
Hello, Dr. Siba Prasad Parida sir. Could you share your screen?
Okay, yes.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
I think there's some network issue today. So I would thank Prabhas sir for his valuable contribution. Today's webinar is all about providing our participants with relevant resources that will aid them all in bird watching, thus ensuring the conservation of various avian species. Without any further delay, I now invite Dr. Siba Prasad Parida, our esteemed distinguished speaker for today's webinar, to share his knowledge with us. Dr. Siba, please proceed.
Madam. So good evening to all the participants and dignitaries of this forum. Okay, am I audible, madam? Hello?
Yes,
Am I
sir. Yes,
audible?
sir. You are audible.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you're audible.
My screen is visible?
Yes,
Hello?
sir. Visible. It is visible, sir.
Thank you. So, after requesting by the professor, so I have given the topic the biology of birds. So, birds are the very fascinating, the vertebrates which can fly, but not other, very few other groups of animals can fly. So, the flying of birds is the main inspiration for the aeroplane, and so many other like the bullet train. Bullet train is the inspiration of the kingfisher beak. So how the kingfisher dive into the water and pick the food and without disturbance of the any uh, fishes. So that's why so birds are the most inspiration to all of us, and that nature of the birds so teaches us many things. Okay. So now the classifying where avian diversity. So nowadays, today there are about 10,988 species of living birds has been recorded. That's a lots of birds. Some scientists are interested in organizing these into different groups like classification. So how 10,988 birds to distinguish? That's why the classification as the linear classification, binomial, then trinomial, then molecular. So many. Hello. So am I audible? So
Yes,
my
sir, you
screen
are
is
audible.
not visible.
Yes, sir. Please share your screen again. Uh, I will request for please remove and again share the screen, sir.
Hello. Now it is visible.
No, no, sir.
Just a minute. Just a minute. Yes, now visible. Hello. Sir, is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Now
it is
it's visible.
visible.
Okay. So some scientists are interested to organize these into different groups. That is called classification. So all organisms are classified in different taxonomic classification. What happening? Connection. Hello. Again, screens
Sir,
are.
yes, you can share again, sir, screen. Please share your screen again.
Okay, okay. Why it is? Okay. So now it is visible. Hello.
Not it, sir, but I think we can see your screen, but it's completely black.
Okay, so what is the problem? Okay. Again, I'll restart again, sir.
Please wait in a minute. Yes, sir, you can. Please don't restart your computer. You just stop the presentation and again share. If
Okay.
it is possible, sir, if it is possible, can you send your presentation through email to me? Here I can do the presentation. Means I will show the screen. You can do the presentation.
Okay. So please provide me your email ID. Then I'll
Yes, sir.
immediately.
N dot Dude.
For nature.
Yes, N for nature dot
N dot
DUDHE
DHE
@ BNHS.org.
BNHS.org. Okay.
Yeah, please send, sir.
Attaching solid. Okay. N dot D U D H BNHS. Sir, again I confirm your email ID. NDUDHA. Hello, sir. Hello.
Sir, please take the chat box.
Sir, N dot DUDHA at the
E,
rate
BUDHE.
BNHE. Okay.
Yes, sir. At the rate BNHS.org.
Dr. Siba, if you are unable to send, then you can send to me. I will forward.
I am sending both of it.
Okay.
Set, sir. But I cannot try.
I request to all the participants, please wait a minute. We will start the session soon.
Sir, sir, have you got it?
Not yet, sir. Not yet, sir. I think it takes some time, sir. I will take and reply.
Okay, sir. Already sent. I have sent both of you and Professor.
So far, I have not received.
Okay, sir. So now my screen is visible.
Yes, sir. Now it's visible. Please make a full screen so everyone can see easily.
Okay. Yes. So okay. So now the hierarchy. Am I audible now? Clearly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Correct.
The hierarchy of taxonomic levels. Suppose, for example, for a cow. So the kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. That's why, in according to this, all the birds have 10,000, more than 10,000 birds have been classified in this system. So how this is the origin of birds? So the interesting is the so all living birds share a common ancestor because the origin of birds come from the one ancestor. So despite their incredible diversity in form of ways of life, all living birds, including first example is the American wood owl, second one is the orange-headed thrush, third is the tufted puffin. Hmm. Uh, so this is the photograph taken by great ornithologist and is the books Collins books. So nearly all experts now feel confident that birds are the living descendant of dinosaurs, a diverse group of reptiles that originated about 245 million years ago. In the pictorial, so the first bird appears like Archaeopteryx in the Mesozoic era of Jurassic period. So this is the connecting link of reptiles and birds. So these are the lineage of the birds under the Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous period. So in that, animals are the phylogenetics tree shows the widely accepted view and how modern birds are evolved. So dinosaurs become the most dominant group of land animals until the mass extinction, the Cretaceous period at 66 million years ago. This end Cretaceous event also caused the demise of the many other groups of terrestrial and marine organisms and animals. So early tertiary, the few groups of surviving birds diversified rapidly due to environment more hospitable. So birds filled many niches open up to the three extinction. So rapid radiation gives rise to many modern birds orders. So in the 1970s, some paleontologists noticed that Archaeopteryx shared unique features with small carnivorous dinosaurs called theropods. So the birds are simply a twig on the dinosaur branch of the tree of life. As birds evolved from these theropod dinosaurs, many of their features were modified. So left side the photograph showing the fossils of the Archaeopteryx, and the mechanism is the right side picture. So reptiles move on to the dive into the tree, then slowly, and the modified. That's why the bird are evolved as believed. So in most interesting thing is the adaptation. So adaptation, nothing. They precisely adapted the particular way of life, like some barn owl have such acute hearing that can localize catch prey in total darkness. In the dark night, it also can prey the catch. And emperor penguin have special traits that allow them to swim underwater for more than 10 minutes. So bar-headed geese routinely fly over the world's highest mountains, that is Mount Everest, above the feet of more than 10,000 feet, 10 to 23,000 feet. So, and nocturnal photos, so like nightjars, feather match roosting tree backs, and also in night they also merge with the camouflage with the road. So the evolutionary diversity of birds, so spectacular diversity of avian morphologies and behavior matches the fundamental challenges. So different color birds, but they have some different groups also, and so color is very, so evolutionary diversity is there. So the term natural selection provides the underlying evolutionary explanation for how these various adaptations have arisen in birds and all other forms of life on Earth. So Charles Darwin and Alfred Wallace in 1850s. So their theory, the survival of the fittest, the profound and believed. Under this process of natural selection, individual birds with advantageous traits will on average exhibit higher survival and have more offspring than individuals without these traits. So advantageous traits will increase in their population over time. So now the sexual selection is a special form of natural selection that involve the differential reproductive success of individuals that arise specially from competition over mating opportunities. Sexual selection can involve competition to attract members of the opposite sex or direct competition with members of the same sex. So sexual selection has produced some of the most conspicuous and spectacular traits of birds. So in the peacock, Indian peafowl, very attractive bird. This is the Galliformis. So and interesting is the avian flight. So this is the diagram. So the lift and weight to lift and the drag and thrust. These are four mechanism are in the birds. So when the flapping, this is the thrust, then the bird can fly. So running thrust. After running, then they open the wing, then it will be fly. So the lifting theory is the Bernoulli theorem in the physics. So airflow will cover up and the upper part is the higher than lower part, and normally air moves along smoothly in stream. Airflow is disturbed when a wing moves through it, and air divides and flows around the wing and meets up. The top surface of the wing is curved. That's why the air moving across the top of the wing goes faster than the air traveling under the bottom to catch up. Because the air on the top of the wing is moving faster, there is lower air pressure above the wing than below the wing. So difference in the air pressure creates the lifting. So the lift is the Newtonian theorem. However, we believe that lift is better described by the angle of attack from Newton's third law of motion. So every action has opposite and equal reactions. Amount of the lift depends on the speed of density of the air around the wing and the angle of the wing. So speed of increasing angle of attack forces more air downwards, producing lift. So this is the mechanism. Then come for the wing shape. Wing shape is important for determining the flight capabilities of a bird. So different shapes correspond to different traits of between advantages such as speed, low energy use, and mobility. So this is the swift wing. This is Martin. So here is the pictures of different slotted high lift wing, high aspect ratio wings. Albatross is the largest wingspan, like so many different birds, sparrow, thrushes, crows. So due to the different shape and the primary, secondary, the feathers, and that is the mechanism, and that's why they are classified in the different flying range. So in the handbook of bird biology, so it is be described there. So design for flight. So wing is enable the force to lift. How bird can fly? So lightweight, smooth feather, reduce the forces of weight and drag. So light bones, hollow with air sacs and thin, tiny cross pieces to make in bone stronger. This reduce the force of weight. So this is the bar, and the right side picture is the cross section of a bone. Unless requesting to okay. Then come for avian migration. So migration is the phenomena, the regular seasonal movement of individuals away from and back to the breeding grounds. Here in the Odisha state there is Chilika Lagoon, the largest brackish-water lagoon in the Asia. So many birds, 10 lakhs above birds comes to the Chilka Lagoon. So we are usually go and watch all the birds. So billion of birds worldwide migrate between summer breeding and winter ground. At least 4,000 species of birds, the 40% are regular migrants. So migrating birds can cover thousands of miles in their annual travel and traveling the same course year after year with little deviations. But migration carries high cost in predation and mortality. So this is the mechanism of the circadian rhythm of the birds. So this is the nature has that power. So that is called circadian rhythm. So this is the picture of different birds having different migration paths all over the world. So pole to pole, Arctic tern flies thousands kilometers years from Arctic breeding grounds to Antarctic wintering grounds, maximum 96,000 kilometers. So Pacific crossing bar-tailed godwits have the longest non-stop flight of any bird. So mountain crossing bar-headed geese migrate over Himalayas at the height of more than 7,000 meters above the sea level. So this is the picture of Arctic tern migration. So from the record-breaking route of the Arctic tern. So bar-tailed godwit migration per 12,000 kilometers in the 7 days. So how the tiny bird has traveling non-stop in 7 days. So bar-tailed godwit rarely, occasionally comes to Chilka, but black-tailed godwit are more in Chilka Lagoon. They come from the Chilka to travel to the New Zealand. So that path is recorded. So this is the bar-headed geese fly over the Himalaya. So now the interesting is the bird song. So nature, that is called nature song. So nature has the very beautiful songs are there given by birds. So of the more than 10,000 bird species we know about, out of that there are 4,000 are songbirds. Songbirds are basically in Passeriformis family. That passerine are called also perching birds. So their feet adapted for perching. 3 toes point forwards, 1 backward. Birds use sound to communicate, defend, resource and attract mates. Some individuals produce complex and elaborate sounds, energetically demanding, don't do it all the time. Almost every species can be identified solely by the sounds they make. Song is often thought as a behavior of male birds. Females sing in the tropics. most of the male are the better call sounds. So this is blackbird is the melodic sound, the thrush, that sound is repeated. So worms, the intense trill. So sound, what is the sound? Sound is the vibration of the molecules. So air molecules that have been set into motion by a vibrating sound source like bird's voice box bump into each other. This creates a cascade of movements that will call a pressure wave because it moves outward in bands of increased air pressure. Because of eardrum is sensitive to tiny differences in the pressure, we can detect the airborne vibration that enter to your ears as a sound. So this is the visualizing sound. So the quieter sound is louder sound and the lower pitch sound is higher pitch sound. So this is odd. So this is another pictorial form. So the calls. Calls is an avian vocalization that is shorter and simpler than a typical song and used to communicate a nearby threats or an individual's location. Calls less likely to function exclusively to mate, attraction or territory defense. Calls have a variety of communicative functions which different calls frequently serving different roles. So robin song and call. So how birds sing. So songbirds learn their songs and perform them using a specialized voice box. The vast majority of non-songbird species like raptors, seabirds make simpler sounds. Some birds have a sensitive period when they learn their songs. Other birds are open-ended learners and keep learning songs throughout their lives, can have complex repertories. So next is the mating system. So the mating system, the male and female birds, they attract each other and they have some different like monogamy. The social monogamy, that means one male mates with only one female. So in the Rudy Seldog also, in the Chilka Lagoon, we have observed. So they're in the pair, only monogamous there. So social monogamy means the most common avian mating system. Even though more than 90% bird species are socially monogamous, most also engage in extra pair copulation that can lead to extra pair paternity. In the social monogamous three-toed woodpeckers, approximately 10% of the nestling have different father to the social father, raising them at the nest. Extra pair copulation even occur in species with lifelong social monogamy such as the albatross. And now it is the polygyny. Polygyny is the one male mates with several females. So polygyny occurs in just 2% of birds. Most striking for polygyny exhibited by birds at lakes. So lake means the aggregation of males that engage in competitive mating display towards using females. So this is the lake polygamy pictures. So this is the males are very beautiful and attractive, and that's why they attract the females. So polyandry. Polyandry means the one female mates with several males. So polyandry is the most rare mating system. In Phalarope, sex role reversal has occurred where female completely aggressively with one another for mates while courting males. The males they mate with carry out all parental duties once the egg have been laid in the nest. In polyandrous species, the female is the brighter sex. So both male and female have multiple mating system during breeding season, very rare, occasionally donox this bird. So this is the breeding biology, father, mother and the chick. So nest and nest building. Most birds construct nest primarily to hold and protect their eggs and to keep them together so that a parent can incubate them at the proper temperature. A simple scab in the ground serves as an adequate nest for some birds. A few birds that lay only one egg at a time have forgone nest altogether and incubate their single eggs in the other ways. For example, some raptor birds like vulture, that is very difficult. Also in the captive breeding, now the Nandankanan Zoo, the started. So sometimes the non-fertilized egg, that is difficult to hatch. That's why. So it is very okay. So penguins incubate the eggs and broods their chicks on the top of their feet. So penguin, and these are the different types of nest the terrestrial birds made, and this nest will attract for the female to lay egg. So male and females play various roles in nest construction depending on the species. In hummingbirds and most other looking avian groups, in which there is strong sexual selection on males, the female builds the nest entirely on her own. Opposite is true for polyandrous species such as phalaropes, in which the male builds the nest. So another is incubation. So in many bird species, both members of a pair incubates. Generally, both parents share this equally, switching at frequent interval, although the female most often incubates through the night. Members of pair may perform a greeting ceremony when they exchange duty at the nest. In many other bird species, only one parent incubates. In dogs, geese, hummingbirds, most owls, and many passerines, the female usually incubates. So male geese and owls defend or gather food for the female while she incubates. Only the male incubates the eggs in polyandrous species. So in preparation for the hatching, birds' embryos develop an egg tooth, a short pointed structure on the tip of the upper beak, which the hatching bird uses to break through the egg shell. It absorbs calcium from the cells like this. In the tip of the beak, there is the egg tooth. This is the it tears the egg shell and the chick will come out from the eggs. So newly hatched birds vary widely in their readiness for the life outside the egg. Ultrical chicks can hatch naked or with spurs down, with no ability to generate heat for thermoregulation, and totally depends on the parents for food. But in case of precocial chicks are already well feathered with down when they hatch, with substantial power of thermoregulation and locomotion, and a considerable degree of independence from the parents for feeding. So this is the two types of chicks. So avian foraging and competition. So the big structure is different for the foraging and the feed. That's why their niche is different. That's why there is less competition. So we can see at a place of different species of birds. due to their ecological niche is different. So birds are either generalist or specialist. So generalist eats anything, but specialist specialize. So diversity of birds, diet and foraging behavior is evident in aspects of their anatomy, especially their beaks, feet, wings and tails that reflects feeding adaptations. So diversity of bill shapes. So first one is like a crow, so anything it can fits. But in the right side there is a this is passerine, this feeds on grains. This is merganser. So this big it is a fish eater. So and the tip is pointed out because the when it catch the prey it could not escape. This is the upper seizure operation seizure like. So the top it will be take, and this is the flower picker beaks like that. So I mean the diversity of bill shapes. So diversity of foraging strategies. So different birds also exhibit diverse foraging strategies. So technique and physical and behavioral adaptations required to catch an insect are quite different to those required for capturing fish. So this bird and the flight it catch the insects. This is the grey heron. This is the little kingfisher. It is watching for the fish. So adaptation to foraging. So birds generally have to work at foraging, while some plants are easily accessible. Nectar, fruits, seeds, and other plant products are diversely dependent. Adaptation to feeding must take into account the ecological and evolutionary interaction an individual has with its food. Flowers of a particular shape favor the evolution of an appropriately shaped hummingbird's bill. So search and recognition. So food searching process often involves scanning substrates such as leaves, tree trunks and the grounds. Some birds use a sit and wait strategy to capture prey that moves infrequently. So other birds such as thrushes have an acute sense to hearing to detect underground animals. Woodpeckers listen for wood boring insects. Although most birds have a poorly developed sense of smell, some birds do use olfaction to find food. Some seabirds search over large ocean areas and once they discover a smell, move upwind to find its source. So nostril at the very tip of the beak, capable of detecting scents at concentration of only a few parts per million. So this is the olfaction system of the birds. This is the foraging extraction tools. So it the stick into the hole, then the insect will come out, then it will hunt. So populations and individuals. So the population ecology study features that describe the demography of a population, survivorship, fecundity, dispersal pattern, age structure, sex ratio, like catch and ring bars, color rings and unique metal rings. So for the bird conservation, major threats to bird populations are agriculture, logging, invasive species, residential and commercial development, fire, hunting, trapping, mining, transport, climate change, pollution, fisheries. So many factors are the parameters are dependent for the are the threats, major threats. So that's why the bird conservation also we have to manage, and that's why the management strategy you have to prepare and how to conserve birds. So the habitat fragmentation, this thickening bird, the habitat fragmentation will be very disturbed for their eggs and the hatching eggs. So some induced predators, so they also eat their eggs, rat, cats, mongoose, so many. Then climate change, that is the very sensitive to the birds. So climate change increasingly is implicated as a threat to bird population around the world. So we are concerned about them may become increasingly difficult to find suitable breeding grounds. More excited from longer migration may become out of synchronized with their prey. So conservation solution. Above all, maintaining suitable habitat. So yesterday, Ms. Shweta speaks about the habitat. So the suitable habitat is the essential requirement for the successful conservation of any species, community or ecosystem. So conservation solutions are complex, need to balance the need of both human and the natural world. So many conservation projects requires lots of time and effort by many volunteers. So protection needs to be implemented globally. Birds move across country boundaries with different laws. So what each of us can do, there are so many little things that we can do to help the birds. So back garden conservation, citizen science, adopting a place or animal consumer choice, environmental education, wildlife watching with youngsters, contributed to conservation organizations like that, and so many things are there. So thank you very much. So so I finished my presentation. Hello.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. I'm sure our participants have thoroughly enjoyed and gained useful information through this event. Now I will commence with the question and answer session. I would request the participants to post their questions in the chat box.
Madam, you can read and tell me, because I
Yeah.
have two questions, so I'm confused.
Yes, sir, I will definitely let you know, but I want the participants to post their questions in the chat box. Anurag Yadav asks, kindly tell me the source of bird photographs used in the slides.
So bird photograph used from this slide is the bird ecology, the Cornell Lab in the 2016. So I borrowed that photographs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So next question is from,
Yes.
yes, sir, just a second. Next question is from, no, sorry, Dr. Asha. She is asking that what is the difference between bird calls and bird songs?
Birds calls and bird songs, because the calls is various calls like some raptor birds calling, so that indicates. But the songbirds are the special birds, the terrestrial birds. They are continuously calls that is make into the song. So that's why we are called it the song. Okay. So that's why we call it the songbird. Suppose like that hill myna. Hill myna is a songbird. Okay. But in the raptor like white-bellied seagull, so that is the call. So there, that is always not producing sounds, but the songbirds always producing sounds. Like some passerine birds, some finches were kept in the house, that is continuously calling. That's why we call the songbirds. Okay.
Yes, sir. The next question is from Ashish Ghate. What do you mean by invasive species as a threat?
So some invasive species that is not native. So that is the exotic and the outside, and that will be dominate here. and the native species will wipe out. For example, so the Icornia is the invasive, like some Parthenium. The Parthenium came from Australia, and it is hugely dominated in the country. So in the period of Indira Gandhi ji, that the Australian wheats came from Australia with the package material as a Parthenium. So that will be widely invasive and spread, and also so many weeds are here. So the invasive birds like, so our some African birds like that what I forget. So in the market, they are available. They're sold for the flesh and for the decoration material, and that will be slowly wipe out our native chicken or ducks. Okay. Now clear? Hello? Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The next question is from Dhyaneshwar Vittal Kumbar, that how is the respiratory system of birds characterized?
That is the interesting thing. That is the anatomy, the respiratory, the trachea, and the after the lungs. There are so many mechanisms are there. So they also go through the pneumatic bones, and the respiratory system is a very complex system. It will take me about more than 1 hour to describe. So you can mail me, and I will send you the proper answer with the pictures, or in the presentation mode I will send you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. The next question is that hello, I'm audible. Hello. Yes, sir. So next question is from Sanal Santosh, that in case of monogamy, when partner dead, is second partner search or not?
Will be very sick and very close to die. It is observed. Okay.
Okay. Next question is, why do we find some migratory birds at a specific place earlier than they should arrive? Like mostly birds migrate in winter, but have been in monsoon too. Why does this happen?
Many cases are some wintering birds are could not back to their original place also, because birds have some circadian rhythms. One thing, another is they prefer their food, the availability of food, water, cover, and protection. Right? These four things are gate that cannot move again back. In the Chilka Lagoon, also in the Mangalajodi is a village where some Eurasian pintails, many birds are not fly back to their original place, and now they are resident here. Some of the pockets, also in the Nalban area. So their availability of food is the major things. Then the protection, and they are very sensitive. That's why the protection. So here in Odisha, the poachers become the conservationists here, and they get the highest awards in the conservation for the birds in that Mangla Jodi. That is the IBA number 1 to 3. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So next question is from Sashank. He asked that on what factors should we focus while working on nocturnal birds?
What factor? Okay. So nocturnal birds, that you have to understand their behavior first. So then you have to follow, and you have to you have to fix the camera trap. Otherwise, the birds will left. The tapetum of the eye you have to very carefully observe, and the spotlight is very important to focus the birds. Okay.
Yes, sir. So next question is from Jyoti. She asked that the egg tooth was said to absorb the calcium from the shell. Does it mean it is made by absorbing the calcium from the shell? and its function is to help peck open the shell from inside. So when and how does it fall off once the chick is out of the shell?
No, no, out of the cell that is we fall off. In the reptile case also, the egg tooth is there in the crocodile eggs because many birds are carrying by the mother, or some are the abandoned eggs. The nature is nurturing them for the regulating the temperature and many things. So the egg tooth is helping for the tear the egg cell, and after it will be vanish. Okay, it is not permanent; it is temporarily. After few days feeding, it will remove because the big cell, the molting will come, then it will set. Okay.
Yes, sir. So next question is from Toshif. He asked that is it true that migration directions chosen by birds with the help of Earth magnetic field?
Correct. Absolutely correct. But the dissuaded through the lights and some other anthropogenic things. Okay.
Okay. The next question is by Varsha Gupta. She asks that as climate change pushes birds towards northern hemisphere, is melting of snow affects bird life?
Absolutely. Because their habitat, the glacier stage, suppose glacier stage, they melt in the sea level will rise. So some the habitat will destructed. For here also in the Odisha case, in the Bhitarkanika mangrove area, say about 1-2 kilometers sea enter into that village. The village will shift to the another place. So in nearby that sand dunes and other faunas and floras are hugely affected. Right. So birds
Yes,
habitat, suppose the rising of the in the lake wetland system, the rising of the water, so birds cannot feed properly. Suppose in case of Chilka Lagoon, the 14 square kilometer of the Nalban area, so there will be the no more the water logging with the full of. Then how bird will feed, and why the how the bird will why the bird will come? Is it not?
yes, sir. The next question is from Mr. Devananda Panda. He's asking that how are kites and eagles capable of soaring high for longer period of time?
Because they are the high flyer birds, because their body structure and wings are designed like that, and their eye patterns, that the sighting is the more 300 times more than us, and they're the speed. And so the peregrine falcon is the type is the raptor bird which can fly, and in the flying it can hunt some birds and eat there also. And the falcons and the kites, they're the raptor birds are the high flyers, and they're so mostly they're that means that their range is the wide range of birds there. Okay, they're wide range birds. Okay, madam. Next
Yes, sir.
question.
Yes, sir. Next question is from Gayatri Nayak. She asks that why birds generally have only one ovary. Is there any birds having both the ovary?
No, they are the both the ovaries, but one is functional, right? Because that reproductive system, the female reproductive system of birds, they have the two ovaries, but one is functional, another is not functional due to evolutionary process. Okay, because egg when the egg formation in the ovary, so one ovary can catch the ovaries, another is not. The left one is the functional. Okay.
Yes, sir. So next question is from Ashwit Shetty. He asks that how do the bar-headed geese able to breathe over the Mount Everest where the oxygen level is less?
Yes. Bird also high flyer birds, because when the birds the heavy birds, the higher altitude, then the pressure is less, so that is a help to fly over the Himalaya. So when the airplane is above the 40,000 feet or 50,000, because they consume less fuel, because no needs of the fuel and acceleration. In that mechanism, the higher flyer birds can fly over the Himalaya because the less energy is existed. Okay.
Yes, sir. The next question is that what can be the reason that Siberian cranes stopped migrating from Bharatpur India? From Dr. Mahesh Zanjuri.
Siberian crane to Bharatpur. Also Siberian crane also found in the Odisha and other parts. But now the Siberian crane is there in the Ghana bird sanctuary in Bharatpur, also in UP and so many other area because this is the birds are very sensitive. If they get the proper protection, they will there and the food is sufficient, then they will be seen. Otherwise not, because the bird biology is like that.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The next question is from Diganta Sovanchan. He asked that do electromagnetic wave have any effect on migratory birds?
Okay, Digant, he is a ACF, Assistant Conservation Forest. Okay, in the Odisha.
Okay.
So, Digant, you can say electromagnetic waves that can little affect, but some major study should be done, like the mobile towers and other things. It should be studied properly. Some want to case some papers is not focused to the all the birds. This is the specific birds. Right. Okay.
Yes, sir. Next question is from Radheshyam Yogi. He asked that what is the relation in perching and singing of birds?
Watching and
Perching and singing of birds.
birds means, so when it will be comfortably purchased in the tree, and it will then comfortably see it can calls like the we can call it as a sing of the birds, song of the birds. So this is the good perching and good location it will be sit, then it will sound is be very comfortable and clearly. When we are comfortable, feel comfortable, then we can comfortably sing na, like that. The birds also do that type of things.
Next question is from Pranab Bandhu Hota. He asks that how do migratory birds know the direction to come to a particular place every year?
Okay, so particular because that is the geo mapping. When the baby fly over with the mother from the breeding ground to their migration path, that is the imprinting is their brain. When the circadian rhythm, they can fly over again back to that place. For in many cases, like some olive ridley sea turtles, from that beach, when that egg hatch out, and after 15 years they'll come into that beach. That is a very mechanism is there. So it is the neurobiological thing, and the circadian rhythms to study, and the geo, that is mainly on the geo mapping on the brain. That's why the birds will come. Okay, this is a simple answer.
Yes, sir. The next question is from Venkata Ratnam. He asks that what are all the birds in red list from Odisha?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Again.
What are all the birds in checklist in red list from Odisha?
Okay, so that is the IUCN red list. Some birds are there, but so I have to check, madam. So um,
Yes,
IUCN
sir.
birds like
So,
datter. Datter is that become to be in the red list, I think. Okay. Let me check.
Yes, sir.
Next
The
questions.
next question. Yes, sir. Next question from Dr. J.P. Srivastava. He asked that are chromatophore responsible for bird migration? If yes, how?
What is, madam? Again, please repeat.
Yeah. Are chromatophore responsible for bird migration? If yes, how?
Yes, definitely. Chromatophore also responsible because due to yes, so the chromatophores are responsible definitely in the migration, but how I have to read, madam. Sorry,
Okay.
sir. Explain it later because the chromatophore system in the avian, it is a little complex than the fishes. Okay, okay,
Yes, sir.
madam.
Yeah. The next question is from Dhaneshwar Vittal. He asked that how is the respiratory system of birds characterized?
Uh, the characterization of the respiratory system of the birds, the alveoli structure is little different, and they carry the oxygen, and the lungs is the this is the part of physiology, and it will cannot explain here easily because we have to take the diagram and clear the intake and outlet of the respiratory system and inhale exhale of the oxygen and carbon dioxide, then I can explain. I'll send these things in the PPT mode. To please inform him to mail me. I will send the PowerPoint mode. Okay, madam.
Sure, sir. Sir, next question is from Ak- Basavaraj Hosagaudar. He asked that have you come across any bird that is currently adapting according to habitat? If yes, which birds are there?
According to habitat, here also pintels are there in the Mangla Jodi. They adopted that habitat. Pintels and so many other birds also, migratory birds, wetland birds. Yes.
Okay. So one question is there from Ashwit Shetty. He asked that why exotic pets business is not banned since a lot of birds which are non-native species such as toucan or parakeets from Brazil are seen in pet shop in India.
So because according to the Indian Wildlife Protection Act in the list, the birds are protected. But in the migratory birds, when they came into the India and the wild for, that will be under the protection of the law. But when the captive and invasive captive birds, so they have the permit. That's why they can sold and they breed. So the system is there, but this is the matter of the legislations. Okay, but we cannot stop. This
Yes,
is
sir.
the issues.
So next question is from um, Radheshyam Yogi. He asks that the migration is come in new birds from ancestor via genetic changes. Yes or no? If yes, then how?
Yes, definitely the genetic change will be changed because during the period of time, the adaptation will be changes. It is a long period, taking long period, but some genetically their isolation and the mutation will occur. The mutation will occur. Yes, definitely.
Yes, sir. The next question is from Lakshmikant Neve. Uh, he says that we are trying to conserve Great Indian Bustard in Pakistan. Great Indian Bustard, and in Pakistan they allow hunting of the same. Then how Great Indian Bustard safe? Any legal action on Pakistan behavior possible?
But legal action because in the border of the India we can protect. So out of the border, so Indian Wildlife Act will not enforce na. So that's why all the Pakistan, if the Pakistan law will be that birds will protected and the legislation passed to protect, then it can be safe. So that will be amendment will be changed and the protect for that birds in their judiciary system, and from the parliament it will be passed by the president. Then it can possible.
Yes, sir. So next question is from Dilip Kumar Dhal. He asked that what is the name of digestive juice of crow responsible for germination of banyan seeds?
That is a very interesting question. So it is I just forget HCL. No, I forget. This is interesting, but I forget. Sorry.
Okay, sir.
That is one enzyme. One digestive enzyme is there from the crow, but I just forget exact the composition. Right.
Yes, sir. The next question is from Raj Kishore. He asked that are birds becoming resistant to radiation coming from mobile towers?
That question asked from the Digant also. The same thing, the electromagnetic field. Uh, in some, because when some new things are come, that will be resistance will be like more. That's why some impact is there, and slowly it had to be very checked, because some papers are came by the mobile tower is the distracted the birds. That is a storyline things, but some papers come the very few birds, but all the birds we cannot say, because that type of research should be done and then we can say, otherwise I cannot say. Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
One more question is there from Vishnu T. What was the real reason behind the massive death of migratory birds from Sambar Lake, Rajasthan? Is it a confirmed case of avian botulism?
The mass that is some flu attack, it can possible, but wild bird is the more resistance. Some food contaminations also make the birds, but the bird poachers are very experts are there, na? So they are poison, and some food or some poisoning things are there, the poachers or the flus. So I cannot, I have not the proper information of that. Then I will collect the information from Sambar Lake. So last time also, yesterday, Sweta madam also told that the water level of the salt level is increasing. That's why the bird have problem. But I think it may be possible, but not 100% possible. Right. So I will inquire and inform you. Right, madam?
Yes, sir. Um, uh, Almost all the questions have been covered. There are one or two questions more, sir. Mahesh Pranjari is asking that nowadays Japanese forest is coming fast in city like Mumbai. Is it suitable to birds?
Oh, absolutely suitable for birds. Queens are very comfortably there.
Okay. And so the last question, the extinction of Cassowary will lead to Daintree rainforest end.
Casually.
Yes, sir. Is extinction of Cassowary will lead to Daintree rainforest end.
Casually is that not our country bird. That is okay. So, it may possible because that is the flightless bird, and due to that, not that casual is not extinct now.
Yeah, it's not extinct actually. I was also thinking the same. It's still present.
Casual is not extinct.
No,
So,
it's something like its extinction of cassowary will lead to Daintree rainforest end.
mm,
Means if
mm,
yeah.
no, no, I could not get the proper questions. Okay, madam.
Daintree rainforest in Australia. That means means if the cassowary is on a road to extinction, will the Daintree rainforest in Australia also end? Something like that.
No. So another birds will be changed to adaptation because that is the old world bird. Because now still it is surviving. So that will not affect
Yeah.
as per the right. Okay.
Yes, sir. I'll be taking the last question now. That from Lakshmikant Neve, that nesting materials of birds continuously change day by day, like plastic, metallic wires seen in case of some species. Is it adoption?
Because they are not getting their proper nesting materials. Because the but outer because they are the outer cover and the inner side is the different of birds and the raptor birds like white-bellied seagull is a huge nest, about 12-13 feet long. Some other raptors also. There is a huge nest and the material is very different. So whatever they get, but they in the heronary birds, their nest is different. So they use the particular specific plant twigs, but the hard material and inside material are different. So that birds, the beak is the very sensitive to the what the materials. Then what use and what will be lasting, the birds will know. That's why they are using some plastics and so many materials. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Um, Dear participants, I believe that the time is up for today's session. Yet a lot many unanswered questions are still waiting in the chat room. On this note, I request Dr. Siba Prasad Parida to provide with an email ID to our participants where they can mail you their queries. So if you
My
could just provide your email ID in the chat box, it would be helpful for the participants.
I cannot write here, but I told you, so you can type there. So
Yes,
Parida
yes,
SP,
yes, sir. It's
PA,
already given in the chat box.
Parida SP @gmail.com.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's my
Thank you
email ID.
so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, yeah, so on behalf of BNHS-ENVIS and CES-ENVIS, I thank you all for joining us today. We hope you found this information and dialogue valuable in supporting a noble cause, which will aid in the further conservation and preservation of our planet. I thank all the team members of BNHS-ENVIS and CES-ENVIS who have jointly come forward to conduct this informative session. I would also thank Dr. Siba Prasad Parida for gracing this event with his expertise. I thank all the participants for their patience and support. On an ending note, I wish you all a very good night. And in case of any query, please mail Dr. Siva Prasad. And at the chat in the chat box, you all have been provided with a feedback link. Kindly provide your feedback on the same. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, madam, and thank you, Prabhat Babu, and all the participants and the.
Thank you, Dr. Parida and BNHS also.